sheets do you think are in there?
So this is the second sheet in, and I reckon there's another 2 or 3 big ones, and then it gets smaller and smaller to the back, so there's most probably maybe about another 10 sheets of comb. That's got beautiful brood on it. You can see the brood. That's what we want to keep. That's the important part of doing a cutout, because the queen will instinctively stay with the brood. So, and the other thing you need to do is make sure that you put the comb the same way up, vertical positioning, that you cut it out. So that's quite a large piece, because the cells are pointing slightly upwards. So you need to make sure that you orientate the comb to the same direction. So this one's a bit bigger than what I was thinking, so I'm going to take this piece out and I'll see how I go. I could actually discard that. There's actually not anything on that, and once we do the cutout, they'll most probably just abandon that. There's not even any eggs laid in there. There's a tiny little bit of pollen, but there's no eggs, so I might actually just discard that, and that's why you have your discard bucket to put all your offcuts in, but I'll just leave it there for now. Okay, that piece I'm pretty much going to put in as is. So you can see while I'm working the frame, I'm giving the bees an opportunity to run down into the box, which is exactly what they're doing. And the way I use my lucky bands, I can actually pick that up. I know that it's not going to fall out of the frame, and I can very gently put the lucky bands on there and secure that. You have to be a bit cautious, because if the queen is running around on that frame, the last thing you want to do is squash her. So that's pretty secure. I'm happy with that. They really were working around a bit of a loaded box. can see what I've cut out. There was a bit of a lip under there. Now it could be that the queen has run it up underneath there somewhere. So once we get all this comb out, I can have a look and see where she might be, and we'll just watch what they do. So let's get that last piece out. Okay, so we've got all the frames in. Now, the next question is, where is the queen?
See some of these little girls have got pollen on them.
Yeah. Right, so they're fanning. So what we need to do is try and ascertain where the queen is. Now, there's some remnants of comb in this cupboard, so she could be climbing around in there somewhere, or because there's a drawer in this cupboard, she could have even run up underneath behind the cupboard. So it could be a bit of a game now. Catch the queen. So ideally what would be nice if she knows the brood's here and she goes down into the box. But what we might have to do is just try and scoop her. So what I might do is get the lid and just put the lid on and see what they do before I get all crazy and start disturbing the bees. Let the bees tell me where she is. So at the moment it's all open air, there's pheromone going everywhere. We need to try and condense down this pheromone that they're giving off and get some direction to it. So let's get the lid on. So I'm just going to leave the lid a bit like that. The good thing is the box is right next to the cupboard here, so if we give them a couple of minutes to reorientate, if she's in the box, the bees will start running into the box. If she's there, then they'll still all be all over the place. But we'll give them a chance for a minute and just see what they do, and see whether they start marching to the box. Sometimes, rather than go in gangbusters, sit back and let the bees tell you what your next move should be. Let's give them a minute and see what happens.
Yep.
Right, so we've given them a good 5 or 10 minutes to settle. They're not marching into the box, so I don't think the queen's in the box, and I think she's most probably tucked herself in behind this drawer. So what we're going to do is see if we can find her and get her in the box. So down there, let them march in.
And there's more honeycomb here.
Let's see what we've got in here. Okay, so just to show you what we've got. So there's lots of bees now clustering in that back corner, so I suspect she's hiding in the back there somewhere. So what we need to do now is let them clump a little bit more, and then we're going to see if we can scoop these bees out and drop them in the box and hopefully get her in the mix.
Dear.
And the easiest way to scoop them, here's a tip. My trusty banister shovel. This is brilliant for scooping up bees. Much easier than using your hands. They stick to your gloves. They don't stick to this. You can scoop them up, less likely to squash bees, and hopefully we'll get her in the mix and we'll gently drop her into the hive. So I want it to come around there. So as soon as we've got her in the box because they'll start marching in. I'm hopeful that in one of those 2 scoops I've got her in. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for these bees to start marching down into the box. If I've got her in there, they'll get her pheromone fairly quickly and the march will be on and they'll be heading this way. So that's what I'm looking for. But it can take a little while for them to get their bearings as to where her scent's coming from. Because there's her scent on the brood that's in the box, but if she's over there, she'll be trying to draw them over there with her pheromone. So mixed messages at the moment until it settles down. I'm starting to look more hopeful now. There's a bit more marching going on there. But we'll wait and see. So I think she was clustered up in that corner, and in those 2 scoops with the banister shovel, I've got her in the box. If we have a look inside the cabinet, so you'll see in here now, there's only a few bees milling around, and you can see how they're just running around following each other. They're really confused. They don't know where she is, but she's certainly not in there because they would clump around her. They would run straight for her and start clumping. And then if we look at the bees on the outside here, they're all starting to fan down towards the box, and there's a lot more bees starting to run down that cupboard door and into the box. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the lid on this box and I'm going to turn it around. So you need to think about what the bees already have imprinted in their minds. So if I leave the box orientated like this, the entrance is facing the wrong way, they're going to have difficulty finding it. So I'm going to get the lid on, keep the box tight so no robber bees can get in there, because I do have those stickies in there and so there is a risk of robber bees. Spin this box around so the entrance is pretty close to where they were coming and going anyway, and they should start to work their way down to the entrance and go in the main entrance where I want them to. So let's flip this box around and see what they do. So we've just been off and had some lunch for about an hour or so to give the bees a chance to settle in and figure out where the queen is. So I've just come back to check on them to see what the lay of the land is. So what we've got is a box, lots of bees at the entrance. I just shoved a rag in part of the entrance just to close the entrance down a bit, just so that it would centre the pheromone if she's in the box. And the bees seem very happy. There's a lot of bees that are coming back from foraging and they're still a little bit disorientated because they still think home is in the cupboard. But when you get in here and have a look, you can see there's absolutely no bees clustering up there where she was. There's a few bees milling around here, but they're just stopping there because that's where the hive was, and then they're going, okay, everything seems to have moved, and then slowly but surely they're reorientating back down to the entrance here. So I'm confident we've got her in the box. Now, if we were going to move this, we would wait until dark, until all the foragers return, because you don't want to leave half the hive behind. It reduces the numbers, and also if you're going to someone's property, they don't want to come back and have to deal with leftover bees that are just milling around for weeks and weeks until they eventually die. So if you do the right thing, wait until dark, all the bees are in the box, then take the box away. But we don't need to worry about that at the moment, because this property, the owners are away for a little while. So we're actually going to leave this box here, and most probably come back and pick it up in about a week, and that'll give them a chance to really settle in. So I'm confident that we've got the queen in the box, and we'll come back in a week or so, and we'll know soon enough when we come back whether we've actually got the queen. But from all indicators, it looks as though that was a fairly straightforward and an easy cutout. So, job well done.